Thanks for staying with us. A teacher's job is to take a bunch of live wires and ensure they are well grounded. That's a quote from D. Martin. In short terms, teachers are life molders. Now, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, presented brand new cars to 13 outstanding teachers in the state yesterday. And the governor made the presentation at the Lagos State Teachers Merit Award 2021 held in Alausa area, 2020 rather, held in Alausa area of Lagos State. Sanwo-Olu, while appreciating all teachers in the state, said never again will the reward of teachers be in heaven. Whilst this is a great start and a highly commendable gesture, is it enough to improve the quality of teachers we have today, which will ultimately impact the quality of minds that we are churning out? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at Wayshow Africa1 with the hashtag Wayshow, or you send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You know, when I saw this story, this was the story that Lami was supposed to take yesterday, but because of the technical issues that she couldn't come on during What's in the News segment, she couldn't take it. But when I saw that story, I thought, you know, we can't let this slide because it's a story that, all the time we see this play out.
Exactly.
But it's almost like you are cutting the branches, you know,
and not
treating the problem from the root.
Yes.
Now, I now did a little research, right? A little research. They said on average, government school teachers in Lagos State earn salaries in the region of 58,000 naira monthly. The entry-level salary for teachers in Lagos State is around 46,000 per month. Salaries of Lagos State teachers in level 14 above is about 81,000 above monthly. This was a report that I saw online. Now, I went to the other side. In the US, some US teachers will return to in-person schooling in the upcoming weeks, and some school districts have already started the school year. So let me just quickly run through what they earn. Okay. About, on an average, the US, right, on an average is about $61,730.
Monthly?
Annually.
Okay.
Then in New York, I think that's about 85,889. So I did the pain to calculate this money in Naira, right? $61,730 is equal to 29.7 million annually. Convert that to a monthly salary, that's about 2.47 million Naira monthly. That's the average salary of a teacher, you understand?
In the States.
Now I am wondering, is it enough for you to just say you want to, and if you put that, you know, I thank you for that picture, you know, salaries of people working in NMPC, I mean, you see it on the screen, about 180,000 per month, IT workers, you know, so if you look at all of these salaries, right, and now juxtapose that with the salary of somebody that the future of everybody.
Even train those in the NNPC.
Wait, make I even finish now. The future of everybody lies in their hands. You know, is it enough for you to just say, you know, you're giving cars? Because you see, it's a good gesture, like I said. But is that enough to improve the quality of teachers that we are churning out and the quality of, ultimately, the quality of minds that we're churning out? Is that what a teacher truly needs, you know, at the moment? So let me hear you. Let me hear you, then I would come to Maury.
We all agree that that's not what the teacher really needs right now, because the teacher needs to be motivated. How is the teacher motivated? Salary structure, the community, and how the community even perceives the teacher it also plays a huge role, because when they say, oh, you are a teacher, you say, I'm a teacher. You know, that means that you're not earning anything, nothing is coming in. No respect. Respect is not given to you. So let's talk about the salary structure. The salary structure is next to nothing. You see teachers in primary schools or secondary schools being paid 20,000, meager money. And at the end of the day, they have to feed their families, they have to feed their children. And remember, there is no clothing allowance, there's no sort of insurance for these teachers. Let's not talk about the fact that when there is some sort of mishap, they're being maltreated by whoever employs them. So it takes a lot for teachers to actually say, okay, I want to be a teacher. Most men today are not even planning to be teachers.
A lot of times now we're having more women.
We have more women in
because they're the breadwinners now. Would it sustain the family?
They can't.
Let me come to Maury. Maury, what's your initial thought when you saw the handing over the cars and all of that? And, you know, is that enough, you know?
I definitely don't think that it's enough, but I'm hoping that it's maybe a start, you know, to something much more better or something much more bigger. Maybe I mean, the fact that they're even giving them awareness, you know, maybe they have like other things, you know, in place for them, but it's definitely, teachers definitely deserve more than, yeah.
Okay.
It's not the solution to the problem.
At all, it's not. So what is?
Totally.
Let me bring our guest in. Dr.
Dr.
Vera
Vera.
James is a leading global consultant, speaker, researcher, coach with expert insight on educational and organizational strategies. She's no longer a stranger on Ways because she's been here before, and we are so happy to be hosting her again. Thank you so much, Dr. Vera, for joining us this evening. She's joined us via Zoom. Thank you, Dr. Vera.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
So, Doctor,
can you hear me?
We can hear you clearly.
We can hear you.
Dr. Vera, you heard our little
Right,
banter on this topic. I mean, when I was doing this research and I read about the teachers' welfare, because, you know, it's a good thing. Everybody to make news. Oh, teachers got 12 cars or 13 cars. But is that the real problem we're trying to, I mean, or that is just a fix it quick kind of scheme?
It's not even a fix it
you know,
quick problem.
let me hear Dr. Vera.
Okay. So what the governor has done, I think it's commendable. It's good, yeah. But I think Maureen said something about how that she feels that there should be something more. I mean, that's like too basic. That's like scratching the surface. It's important. It's good. It's exciting that these teachers are at least today, they have brand new cars. It may interest you to know that in Lagos State, for example, we have over 34,000 teachers in the primary and secondary school. And while I heard that conversation yesterday, I had to go read more about it. And I found that even the 13 people are not all teachers. Okay, we agree that every one of us are teachers, yes. But there are people among that number that are maybe administrative staff and all of that. So we're looking at 5, 6, 7 teachers. I don't have the accurate figure, but I know that there are no more than 7 classroom teachers. I mean, we are comparing that to the over 34,000 teachers we have in Lagos. But that's not to say it's not a good or a welcome decision. It's fine, it's okay. But what teachers need today is beyond that. It will motivate the teachers who got it fine, the 5 or 6 of them, yes. It would also probably motivate others to want to be like them. But the truth is, there are still 1,000 or more than 10,000 teachers who are actually that good. So we want to begin to look at the criteria for selection.
Thank you.
I try to follow this closely. And I saw that I think there's an improvement with this year, because I understand that there was no government interference. That's the information that I have as seen on social media. Okay. So it's not, I'm not privy to whatever was done, but going by the people I saw who talked about it, there's some sort of maybe a reduced interference. So we may say that some good due diligence was done. But that is not to say that is enough. But yes, it is commendable. It's something to start with.
You know what, Dr. Vera?
The major issue, yeah?
Go ahead.
Okay, for me, the major issue with teachers in Nigeria, in Lagos, is the fact that, let's go back to the basics. The average Nigerian teacher, how did you get there? I mean, in the public school, for example. Or the average person who studied education at the university level. Why did you study education?
Thank you.
So you missed.
Can I answer you? You missed the cutoff mark. So you couldn't make the cutoff mark for another subject. That was why you decided to go to the education.
And then you will find, have you seen the recent cutoff marks from schools? And then education is the lowest, or some very funny. And then you're wondering. So these are the people who will come into 100 level, 200 level, and then graduate in the next 4 years, 5 years. We are already very, very down below. We are not even at par. So when we now get into the profession, there's this mediocre thing around. So I think that the most important thing is to address that I'll call it recruitment process.
Mediocrity.
First,
Okay.
how do we recruit people into the teaching profession? What do we have on ground? Again, how admirable are the teachers that you see? So that you as a young person would say, I want to be a teacher. Thank God for some of us now. I mean, we're mentoring people. We're seeing people who want to be teachers because of some teachers right now. But how many of us?
You know what?
The percentage of teachers who look good enough?
Thank you, Dr. Vera.
For a young person to say, this is what I want to do.
Thank
you,
Dr. Vera.
So we begin to look at all of these things.
You know what?
Okay.
I checked in the, 70s,
Yes.
People, I'd mentioned this several times. I've mentioned it on the show. I know my husband told me how his lecturer rejected a shell job for lecturing. And, some of the benefits that they enjoyed, good accommodation, there was good medical care, they could save and travel. They lived very fulfilled, like building, better future for themselves, for their children. And they were not peasants or beggars in the community.
And ultimately,
do you understand?
they were
And they were the most brilliant minds.
They were respected.
You understand? I'm even going somewhere. They were the most brilliant minds. So, Dr. Vera, when you keep on having these kinds of lopsided recruitment where it seems like it is the rejects, the ones that the university rejected, those are the ones that will go into colleges of education. And the government is still not seeing this. And you are thinking that buying cars to teachers would solve the problem. That was what got me worried. And I said, you know what? I think these people are still missing the point. Because everywhere around the world, it is the most brilliant minds that they retain to come and teach the next generation. But here, it is the other way around. So how do we even solve the problem of the mind gap that we have in the country?
And of education system.
The thing is, we pray for Nigeria every day, but the truth is there's a systemic problem that I don't think prayers will do. I mean, I believe in prayers, but there's a systemic problem that needs to be addressed. So the faculties of education need to begin to say, no, we want to improve the standard. We do not want people who, for whatever reason, the interesting thing is, you are unable to study economics in the faculty of maybe social sciences, and then you are accepted in the faculty of education to come study economics education. Remember, you're going to be an economist at the same time an educator. So that's like having double honors. So you should be, I agree with you that you should be the bright mind. But it's unfortunate that's where we are right now. So our schools, our institutions should begin to make this, I like to use the word recruitment or admission process. We need to begin to change it. But if the schools change it and still the environment, the community, Nigeria is still not saying teachers are important, then it will still not attract the kind of people that we want. So there's a big problem, there's a big gap that we need to begin to address. The government, national, federal government, local government, everyone should begin to address these issues. And when you talked about your brother who told you something about accommodation and co, that's fantastic. If teachers have, I was thinking about, I think I was speaking with some teachers 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we talked about having something like a teacher residential estate. It's not a big deal. We have buildings in Lagos that have been dilapidated, they've been abandoned.
Exactly.
So if we even start with those ones to cater for the people in that locality first, and then look for other areas, develop such areas and put up a teacher estate. Now, this would help a teacher's psyche. Our teachers, one of the problems we have is the mindset. Absolutely. And that's why you see a teacher is a bit so frustrated that will do stuff. Yesterday, I saw that a teacher was being beaten by a parent in a school. I mean, these are the things that teachers go through. So if as a country, Nigeria decides to say, I'll tell you this, was it in 2012, I was in the United Kingdom, Oxford, for a teacher training program. Myself and a friend of mine, we were 2 from Nigeria. And 90% of the participants were from European countries. All of them were sent
fully sponsored
by their country, public school teachers. Then at the time, my colleague and I, we were both in a private school, even though we paid for ourselves. But I want to believe that at that time, we would have a very minute percentage of a public school teacher who would even think about traveling to Oxford. I'm not saying that they are better off us or whatever. There's something called exchange program. It was fantastic. The teachers, we got there, they saw a lot from us and they were like, wow, you do this in Nigeria, teach me. Oh, you do this in Poland, teach me. You do this in, you know, it was beautiful. But what I'm trying to say is that in that country, the teachers were sent by their government. And don't also forget that sometimes some of them got £6,000 at a time.
As Esther
These are
code.
students in the undergraduate for teacher training programs. But here, we all still have to pay fees. So there is really, I like the fact that where I was working before, there was a program that was introduced. It's called the I Teach program. I mean, that program, the idea of that program was just to pick very intelligent people from different fields. It was beautiful. It started very well. So you see many first-class holders, second-class holders interested about teaching. They came with so much passion, learning. But somehow along the line, some people dropped out because when someone who graduates in another department gets a job as probably an entry-level staff, and you're earning like 200,000 or 250,000 naira, and the teacher is earning 80. I'm talking about even those who earn well at the time.
That's 80,
so you begin to wonder, how do you want to train this very bright mind?
Really
so beyond
sad.
the government, it's not about sad. Private institutions. We need to begin to understand that this, and we all know, even the national policy states that no country or no education system can rise above the quality of its teachers.
I'll tell you.
And if we know that so well on paper, why are we recruiting? And okay, also speaking about recruitment, do you know that, of course you know, we're all Nigerians. What is the recruitment process like? Some people go, some friends are on panels like that for recruitment, for government and all of that.
Yes.
And while you're getting into the recruitment room, someone's already slipping a paper into your hand saying from so. So you pick that paper already. Many people who are not qualified, who would not even be able to hold a 10-minute teaching practice exercise, would get the job. And the one who is able to teach well, who understands the pedagogy of teaching, will not get the job. Why? Because the person is from a different state, one, or two, the person doesn't really know anyone. So these are the things that we need to begin to look at. Government, please, let's look at these very, very important issues. We're also looking at issues of, do you also know that in in countries like Singapore, there is a structure of a system that shows career path. So you cannot, I will not be in a school now in, let's say this is 2021, I'm a teacher, qualified teacher. 10 years from now, I'm still a qualified teacher. The person who joins is still a qualified teacher. What makes me different?
What's the difference?
So there's this thing, you see, that's why we see that in Nigeria, our teachers get to a point where they just relax. I'm a teacher, she's a teacher, that person is a teacher. Then the highest thing we all want to get to is head of school. What about curriculum experts, even in the classroom? You don't have to be a curriculum expert and then they will send you straight.
It's looking like we're going to do part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. But let me bring in Maury because it's not going to be ending. Let me bring in Maury, then we'll quickly go on a break. Or should we just take a break first? You know what? Let's take a break. When we return, Maury will come into the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Totally.